Republic is being joined by Varsha Gautam, who is an international athlete that has represented India from the age of 12 in various competitions, national as well as international. Let's speak to her regarding the recent controversy that has now broken out in respect of the Asian Games that are all set to happen in August. Hi Varsha, if you could give us a little bit of background about what all you've done so far and exactly what your credentials are.
I started sailing when I was 8 years old and took it up competitively when I was around 12. And since that time, I've given up school. I was homeschooled since I was 14. I did college the same way. And sailing has been everything to me. And we've competed internationally since 2012 properly with Pete Conway, who was our coach. And in 2014, I won an Asian Games bronze medal for the country.
So there's a recent controversy that has broken out regarding the selection of the Asian Games 2018. Can you explain what the procedure for selection that was communicated to you, that was there in the policy first initially was by the Yachting Federation?
Ahead of the initial selections that happened in Chennai, there was a selection nomination policy that was sent out to all the sailors and published on the website, which basically said that the selection event in Chennai would choose the two best sailors in each category and each class of boat to represent the country at the Asian Sailing Championship, which recently concluded in June 25th. And the results of the Asian Sailing Championship, where these two sailors from each category would go to, would be submitted to a selection committee and into internal and external selectors, it says, and they would decide who the best athlete to represent the country would be. So basically, whoever did better at the Asian Sailing Championship should go to the Asian Games. But although they said that, and after the selection trials in Chennai and everything, just a few days before the Asian Sailing Championship was all set to start, we got information through an email from the Yachting Association of India that said that all the people that finished first in the trials need to send their name for entry to the Asian Games. We were confused, so we told them to please just extend the date so that you can finish the Asian Sailing Championship, which would be the second part of the trials, and then you can send the accurate names forward to the Asian Games committee.
Did you think that they were going to select the people going for Asian Games without even holding the second part of the trial, the Asian Sailing Championship that was happening in Jakarta?
No, at that point of time when we found out, I remember that me and my teammate, we were in the hotel room. We had just spent the entire day trying to clear our boat from customs, and it was Ramadan that time, so it was an impossible task. And we had just come home half here and half there, wondering whether it's going to clear or not. And we get this email from them that clearly said that, we're sending forward the names, and we just send forward the names, and it doesn't matter about the Asian Sailing Championship because they decided at some AGM or the other that Chennai would be the only trials. Now we didn't know about that, and obviously neither did half or most of the other sailing federation that's not privy to this information. So we were devastated that day.
This was communicated to you after you had reached Jakarta, after you were ready to take part in the sailing championship and you'd gone completely on your own cost. That's what the reports have said.
Coincidentally, the first mail that came saying that the athletes need to send their entries by name came literally about 3 hours after I had confirmed to the federation that yes, I'm in Jakarta, yes, I'm trying to get my boat cleared. And 3 hours after that, all this was happening again. So it was just like we didn't know what to make of it because we were in the whole rut of things. Just getting there was a huge task for us. We put in so much effort just getting there.
Why didn't the association help you with this?
So when the selection trials finished, they had obviously made plans to send a few containers over to Jakarta, and we weren't a part of those emails leading up to the planning while the selections were happening. As soon as they finished and they knew that we had come in second to participate at the Asian Sailing Championship, they sent the entire trailing mails to me and said, okay, you need to pack your boat in the container today. Now that was not possible by any means, so we couldn't get in touch with that container at that time. So we told them it's okay, we'll send our container by ourselves, we'll figure it out, we'll be there. Now the reason that we took the pain to even send our own container there was because we thought this was the selection for the Asian Games. There was no other reason for us to do such things. It cost us, in the end, because of all this, the Ramadan and just all the delays that would happen, we had to end up air freighting the boat to Jakarta. We put in that much effort. My mum, she works in an airline, thankfully, and she pulled in all her contacts to get like the best price possible to get it there and everything, and then the whole Ramadan situation, and then to find out that this is not the selection was just, I can't explain what we felt at that time. We just felt, our first reaction was, were we the only ones that thought this was the selection? Was this some misunderstanding that we were just wishful thinking? But it wasn't.
You're alleging that there was an open flouting of the policy by the Yachting Federation that was supposed to send the names for these selections. Can you explain how exactly they violated their policy of selection for the Asian Games?
So the selection nomination policy states that, like I said earlier, that the selected 2 sailors would go to the Asian Sailing Championship, then the results would be sent to the internal external committee, and they would then choose the best sailor to go forward. But the whole document is so awkwardly worded that you could think of it in maybe at least 3 different ways what that meant. And cleverly enough, they've also said in the first paragraph or 2 that the Yachting Association of India reserves the sole right to interpret the document in whichever way they seem fit, which is not fair. In any document, I think it should be left up to somebody else, at least not the federation itself. But I can't figure out what to say about it, apart from maybe they did it on purpose, the whole wording, so that in case things went against what they wanted, then they could just say, no, this is what we meant from the start. And yes, of course, it was the selection trials, but because maybe that's not what they wanted and they already got the desired result at the selection in Chennai, that they just chose to say that, no, it's fine, there's no selection in the Asian Sailing Championship, this is the way we want it to be now.
So you've been associated with the Yachting Association for a while now, I'm sure. Is this a norm there where they openly either are accused of flouting the rules, or is this the first time it's happening? Have you ever seen instances like this before?
In 2014, for the last Asian Games, there was another court case. Controversial or not, there was another lawsuit where the YI had told some sailors that they couldn't go because of performance criteria, but however had let other few go despite of the performance criteria. So there was another case back then against the YI, and that's only and there have been some other cases about finances, and I'm not exactly sure, because to be honest, I'd rather stay out of these things, because at the end of the day, I'm an athlete. I shouldn't have to even actually at this moment be here in Delhi, like on TV, in court. None of it is my job. My job should be purely performance based, purely training based, and we are not allowed to do that, because at every day or every week there is some crisis that we have to handle that we shouldn't have to handle.
Planning to take this matter to court. You're challenging this decision where they've stopped the selection process midway. They did not even go through with the second leg of the selection process, according to which they were supposed to send the names. Now you're taking the Yachting Association as well as the Indian Olympic Association to court. What exactly are you asking for from the court to give you?
Well, on a wide base, I'm asking for fairness. I'm asking for somebody to have a heart and just look at the kind of things that has happened, like from the outside, and just see what has gone on, because then they will know that there is some kind of just maliciousness that is kind of plagued the federation for a while now. Because if that wasn't there, then we would be successful. Sport would be successful. It wouldn't just be cricket in the limelight. We would have more medals, we'd have more people going to the Olympics, we'd have more people winning medals there and at the Asian Games. But at this moment, no Indian sailor has ever qualified for the Olympics. They have gone to the Olympics on a wild card, but they've never actually qualified. There is a very good reason for it. It is because of this. And what I'm asking for right now is for fairness to the athlete. We are the ones at the end of the day that put in all the hard work, that go sailing in the sun, in the cold, in the snow, wherever. And at the end of the day, there's somebody in an air-conditioned office making these decisions for us, which is not fair. And it's, like I said, I can't put it into words to explain to people how unfair it is.
Just one last question, Varsha. In all your time with the association, with the Yachting Association, do you think the selection being made by the association or the authorities is based on merit, or are there other factors influencing the selection of the athletes that are actually going and representing it?
Okay, so I'm going to answer your previous question a little better here as well. So what I'm also asking for is just general fairness throughout the spectre of this sport, and if this goes big enough, then I hope across other sports as well. But the whole selection policy, I can't say has been black and white. It has not been transparent. You sometimes don't know, and sometimes people don't stand up for it. Because at the end of the day, an athlete wonders, if I stand up for this, what are they going to do to me? Will they stop me from going forward in my career? Will they get me back for it? Will they attack me back? Because at the end of the day, it's a big deal to take it up to this level. It's pressure on your family, it's pressure on yourselves, it's pressure on the people that love and support you, and it's stress all around. And some people don't opt for that, and some people don't want to take the risk of doing that. But the thing is, right now, I have seen other instances where things are just so blatantly unfair. Like the other day, I read a newspaper article about a shooter called Hina that had also had some problem with the selection, and that's when I thought, if people like me don't take this up, who will? Because there's always somebody scared about what they're going to do to me, but what more can they do? They've already stopped me from doing what I love at this moment, and that's bad enough. And if I don't stand up for it, they're going to do it to other people, and they're going to do it to me later. And might as well do it now for me and for everybody else. And I hope other people join me in this or stand up as well, and I would really encourage that if they could do that as well.
That was Indian athlete Varsha Gautam speaking exclusively to Republic TV regarding the selection process that is now going on regarding the Asian Games to be held in 2018, and about how she now plans to take the Yachting Association of India as well as the Indian Olympic Association to court for flouting these policy norms. With video journalist Rajan in New Delhi, there's Nalini Sharma for Republic TV.